I want to talk right here about the Cowboys. I wonder what they would look like if they had not traded Micah. I put that on Twitter last night. The reaction has been, quite interesting. I think they would still be horrible. Maybe they could have found a way to get to Caleb Williams yesterday. I don't know, and hold him under 20 points, give you a chance. But I think that's a stretch. We saw Micah have several games last year with the Cowboys where they were getting drove on because you just can't make up as one guy for poor plays all over the field. So I guess I feel like the way these 3 games have gone is more proof that the Cowboys did the right thing trading Micah Parsons because they didn't have enough players on defense to help them. That's where I'm at with it. Maybe you think Micah would have fixed all this. Like if you get good coverage, Reddy Stewart and Kaiir Elam are going to be able to, do good stuff if they're able to get pressure on the quarterback. But where do you guys see this?
This is my worry, or this was my worry, that if you had an offense that was good enough and that was scoring points and take teams out of running the ball, that it was going to come down to having to finish games, making sure you had pass rush. I feel like he would have been a factor in the Giants game, and I feel like he would have been a factor in the Chicago game. They did not put enough pressure on these tackles. In the last couple of weeks, the offensive tackles, and I felt like that the Giants' offensive line was worse than what the Bears' offensive line was. But you having somebody that can maybe create other opportunities for guys. We always talk about Micah kind of maybe making others around him a little bit better. Maybe that would have helped Oso Digizua. Maybe it would have helped, whoever's rushing off the other side. But, man, you know what they're doing right now? Just watching the tape, they're doubling your tackles and they're single blocking your edges.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're not even worried.
The tackles are good.
They're more worried about Kenny Clark and Osa and Solomon Thomas than they are your tackles. I mean, I can't tell. I mean, I know that there's some teams in the league that have got some damn good defensive tackles. And that guy at the Giants sees a double team every time he steps up there. But to me, he makes a difference against those teams that have those bad offensive tackles. And that's the way it would have been the last couple of weeks.
And watching Detroit and at least one play against the Cowboys, Darnell Wright, their right tackle, is brutal. Yeah. He can't handle power. He can't handle speed. He can't handle a move. And, he was matched up with guys throughout the day that managed to get no pass rush winning.
Jones, the left tackle,
was even worse going into the game.
Was even worse. I mean, He allowed like 12 pressures, 2 sacks.
Yeah, didn't allow single pressure.
And even despite that, they're leaving those guys on an island with your edges.
Yeah.
Because they have no faith.
They said you're not good enough, and they just doubled your defensive tackles, and they left your guys single on the outside.
So everything could have looked different with Mike out there.
I think to me that it is what it is. I just really believed in my heart that Dallas's offense always has a chance to score points, which takes teams out of their ability to run the football. The Bears did it to you yesterday. You got a guy rushing for 7, almost 8 yards a carry, and it didn't even matter.
So with Micah, maybe you can hold down some of the worst offenses in the NFL, but without Micah, now even they will feast.
The metrics will tell you that drives that have a sack in them or a negative play with a penalty usually end in a punt.
It's incredible because they have not looked this bad since the year that you drafted Micah.
Yeah.
You have not looked this bad since last year when Micah was out.
Right. Well, and he played in the games that they got blown out. So, I mean, I think we've seen this defense look bad with him on the field. I think you're right against offenses that are poor. Absolutely. Caleb Williams, I don't think, goes without a sack yesterday for the first time in his career if Micah's on the field. But we've seen this team have really good offenses in the regular season. Mm-hmm. And then when they go up against good teams, it does show up. You can't stop the run.
I thought you made an interesting point on the post-game show, and you were adamant about this. You weren't interested in spending $47 million for a player like this, were you?
No, I don't think any non-quarterback is worth that amount of money when it comes to roster building in today's NFL. I don't think you can pay a player like that, especially when we've seen this team be good.
So no matter what,
they've failed.
Yeah, they did the right thing in your eyes.
I think they did the right thing, 100%.
I mean, clearly it can be part of a winning formula in Cleveland at $31 million for Myles Garrett, $32 million. But I mean, 45-47 is such a bigger deal. I don't know. I guess I feel like they could win games against poor opponents, but you put Micah Parsons back on this team, it's not making them a playoff team, is it, Chief?
No, it's not going to make them a playoff team. Your run defense is going to end up being worse because you don't have Kenny Clark, so you're going to get run on a fair amount more, and your back end is so bad that big plays are still going to happen.
Yeah.
So it helps your pass rush. It probably limits a couple of the big plays that you've seen over the course of the last 2 weeks, but by and large, this defense is a disaster class, and not one player in the NFL is fixing it.
The 214 asking, do you guys still love Ezra Raku, the second-round pick? There's potential there. It's just going to be a journey.
There's some absolute flashes of him.
There are.
The thing that bothers me the most, and man, I'm here we are at 340 already, but the thing that bothers me the most is you've got guys like Sam Williams playing like a 5-technique 3-4 defensive end. That's how he's rushing the passer. It's almost like he's playing 2-gap. It's almost like he's going into the guy and they're not playing with any type of upfield.
There's no
attack.
angles.
There's no. It's engage and it's kind of get rid of the blocker and then rush the passer.
That's so weird.
It's
so bizarre.
It is bizarre to watch. But yeah, I think the thing with Donovan, there were a couple of times where he actually showed getting off the football, trying to duck underneath the blocker, and then get to the ball. But, by that time, the ball's out. He flashes the plays, and you're just like, you wish you would see more of that.
Aaron Whitecotton's been great for Solomon Thomas. I think you can say it's been, even Steven with Osa. He's about the player that he was, and Kenny Clark has been outstanding, but they aren't getting any reason to, from their edges to believe that they're heading in the right direction. It's bizarre that you mentioned that, Broadus, because I couldn't, evaluate it in that detail. It just looks like they're engaging and they got nothing. They got no moves. They got no speed. They got no chop. They got no spin move. They got absolutely nothing. We'll have some more Cowboys questions for you here in a couple of minutes. The Rangers losing streak hit 7 games in a row. That's unbelievable. They might not even finish above 500 now after the 6-game winner and being one of the hottest teams in baseball. They have fallen back to 79 and 77 now. They'll host the Twins tomorrow, then visit the Guardians. And the most interesting thing right now is they could lose so hard to Cleveland that it could keep Houston out of the playoffs, as the Astros went right back to losing as soon as they were done ending the Rangers season. So that could keep Houston out of the playoffs, and that's something to hope for. Yeah, I don't want to be Cleveland if it means Houston going to the playoffs too. Would they engage in something like that? Execute like you got young guys who are trying to prove something. People are trying to get a last bomb pop or something. But
I get it as a fan. Like, that'd be kind of fun to keep the Houston Astros out, but I don't think the Rangers would be thinking that way whatsoever. They're going to go out there and trying to win games.
And as torturous as this season has been, I would imagine they'll sweep Cleveland and put Houston in the playoffs. Yep. That would just be par for the course. Stars preseason continues tomorrow night. The Minnesota Wild going to be at the AAC. They got the 2-1 win in a shootout Saturday against St. Louis. Maverick Bork got the lone goal in regulation. And Oklahoma State coach Mike Gundy says he has no interest in this being his final season in charge at Oklahoma State. He told reporters 100%. He addressed what he called fair questions over his future with the Cowboys 3 days after State fell to 1-2 with a 19-12 defeat to Tulsa on Friday night, marked the program's first home loss to the Golden Hurricane since 1951. They've dropped 11 of their last 12. It's time to move on from Gundy, isn't it?
Yeah, like he can say this isn't going to be his last year. I think that might be taken out of his hands.
Yeah.
The way that this thing's going.
Yeah, it means I'm not quitting. Are you kidding me? I'm going to get everything guaranteed.
They'll get a nice buyout.
Massive day in the NFL, though, yesterday, and it'll continue tonight with a heck of a Monday nighter. What have we got? Detroit and Baltimore. That'll be a lot of fun.
Soak it in, because this time next week we'll be getting ready for the 0-3 Jets taking on the 0-3 Dolphins.
Ooh, brutal.
You're like, can they
hard
find
pass.
a way to flex?
Goodness gracious.
Browns beat the Packers. Does this give you hope that maybe Green Bay isn't that good, or the injuries to Kraft and Reed are going to slow them down in a way that maybe you could get them?
I think the Browns' defense is to be respected.
Yeah.
Best in the league playing against the run.
Yeah, I mean, they are the real deal.
The Packers are fourth best playing against the run.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. You have the ebbs and flows. I still think the Packers are going to be a really, really good team. But, yeah, Cleveland's defense is not to be fooled with.
Green Bay's offensive line dinged up as well.
Yeah, they've been without two starters. I just don't think it matters. They can put whoever they want in those green unis. They show up at AT&T Stadium, they're going to play their best game.
Oh, for Sunday, yeah, the Packers are going to look like an absolute juggernaut.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that somehow they can get some negative momentum going. They look like the best team in the NFL the first 2 weeks. Yesterday, it looked like that offense that has struggled a lot. They have struggled a lot in Jordan Love's tenure. Mm-hmm. You take away his two best receiving options, Kraft and Reed. You take away offensive line guys. The defense is going to be outstanding. That's championship caliber, but it really felt like 23-24, the struggles of the Packers coming back to roost. We'll have to see if, the Cowboys are going to make you right, but what happens after the Cowboys game could be interesting with Green Bay. I'm just hoping for not number one seed, losing early in the playoffs, keep that pick somewhat pretty manageable. How real are the Colts in the Daniel Jones era? They whooped Tennessee 41-20. You have to think that Jones found an offensive coach in Shane Steichen. He's not making mistakes, but it's really Jonathan Taylor is just absolutely on fire. Indy has 103 points through the first 3 games of 2025, tying any total Peyton Manning ever had as starter of the Colts. At this point, that's a significant sample size, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
They're legit. Yeah. They're a playoff team?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially in that division for sure with the way the Texans are playing.
You got 2 0-3 teams with the Texans and Titans. You're basically just going to be in a race with Jacksonville. It's 2-1.
The Commanders got a great game from Marcus Mariota, walloped the Raiders, and their head coach. You see that? DQ going down.
Gosh, he took a real big hit.
He took a huge hit. I mean, I look up at the screen. I didn't see it in real time, but I just see them showing him he's got blood dripping from his face.
Well, and the whiplash, I worried about it.
I know. His head hit pretty hard. The back of his head hit pretty hard on that field. Yeah.
I mean, for an old guy, he's got to be tough, and the core strength to prevent your head from totally slapping down. I didn't think Dan Quinn was in that good a shape, but he stood there and told multiple officials, I'm fine. And I didn't believe him for a while, but apparently he's okay.
Yeah, that was super impressive. That's the biggest one. We've seen some coaches get trucked this year, but that was the worst one.
We were just talking about how coaches will stand there and try to do the tough guy like they're playing chicken, and that wasn't it. I mean, it was the last possible second. Mariota, had to move, and the next thing you know, he's on Quinn and sends him back. Is it a mistake to use CeeDee Lamb as a running back when your actual running back is doing so well?
That situation. I thought yes, it was. When Javonte Williams is going out there running for 7-8 yards a pop, I just didn't think it was necessary at that point in the game to put CeeDee Lamb in the backfield. And even when it was happening and I was thinking that, I was like, am I being too hyperbolic? Like, they've run CeeDee Lamb before and it's resulted in some good plays. But
is this the punt return question?
It just doesn't seem like that. Well, that's special teams different. And honestly, I'd love CeeDee Lamb back there instead of Miles Sanders. I don't know what the hell Miles Sanders is doing back there returning any kicks. The guy can't really move forward.
Zach Bond is chasing him down in week 1.
But yeah, I don't think in that situation, I'm not saying ever, but you didn't really need to get cute with who was running the ball. Javonte Williams was doing a fine job.
Yeah, I just feel like CeeDee Lamb has been so dang good at those runs out of the backfield that's not something I would want to discourage. But as effective as Debo been, it hasn't kept him healthy. There is a price to pay. I just think that everything went wrong on that play, and all of a sudden the edge is kaput, and you got multiple dudes, and the one guy dragging him down, and then he kind of tripped on his own feet, which put the foot kind of out of position. But
yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean,
really lucky
at any point, but I didn't love the play call there.
I thought it was a hip tackle myself.
Yeah,
I thought it
was a hip drop.
A hip drop tackle. I thought that's what it was. I mean, you watch the tape. That guy launches his body into the back of his legs. Yeah. They got to call that stuff, man. They forgot about that one. They forgot, and I swear when you watch it, and I can pull it up during the break and show you. That thing was that guy he's coming around and he throws his body into the back of CD's legs, and he catches him. He catches that ankle. That's a dangerous play right there.
Do you think if the Cowboys had to do it over again, they would have just played Jadeveon Clowney? take whatever you can get out of them.
Man.
I mean, their ultimate explanation was, well, if somebody got hurt and he had to play 60 snaps, we didn't think he was in good enough shape to do that. Well, 3 of the dudes, hindsight 2020, 3 of the dudes got 0 pressures, 0 pass rush wins. I would say desperately right now you need Jadeveon Clowney and Deron Bland to come back and give your secondary and your pass rush some sense of professional credibility. Right now they look like undrafted jobbers.